Hello and welcome you to Mohan Sir's classes. In this video clip, we'll learn about Geography's first chapter, Research and Development. Our relationship with natural resources. Humans are integral part of the natural world, like other organisms. They enjoy and use nature's bounty, such as air, water, fruit, flowers, and other animals. However, humans different from other organisms because they consciously change nature to suit their needs. They use nature's materials to make tools and use the tools to produce the things they want. The natural materials they use are called resources. For example, in prehistoric times, humans chipped stone to make sharp tools and used these tools to hunt, dig roots, and towers. The basket from bamboo and sew clothes from animal hides. Thus, the natural resources they used in those days were stones, bamboo, animal hides, etc. In this paragraph, it says that humans are integral part of the natural world. That means in this natural world, humans are the integral or we can say important part. Like other organisms, they enjoy and use nature's bounty such as air, water, fruit, flowers, and other animals. That means we know that in this world we have different types of organism. So seems like others organism, human being also use nature's bounty. What is bounty? Bounty in the sense was gift and reward. So like other organism, human being also use the gift of natures such as air, water, fruits, flowers, and other animals. However, humans are different from other organisms because they consciously change nature to suit their needs. So, in compared to other organisms, human beings are different. How and why they are different? Because they consciously change nature to suit their needs. That means human beings are changing the nature according to their suitable and according to their fit. They use nature's materials to make tools and use these tools to produce things they want. So what does human being do? They use the nature materials to make tools and use these tools to produce the things they want. That means from the nature they make the material tools, and from that tools, and those tools are used for what? Produce things they want. The natural materials they use are called resource. Listen carefully. The material or the natural material which they use, that is called what? A resource. What is resource? The natural material which human being or which is used by human being are called resources. For example, in prehistoric times, humans chipped stone to make sharp tools and used these tools to hunt. If we talk about prehistory, that means before historic time, humans chipped stones. What is chipped stone? That means what? Make those stones into pieces, and that one they make sharp tools to use these tools to hunt. That means those sharp tools they used for hunting. Even they used for what? Digging roots and tubers. Next, make basket from bamboo and sew clothes from animal hides. What is animal hides? That means skin, or we can say fur. So in this line what we learn? That means for example, okay, that means the natural material they are used are called what? Resource. For example, in prehistoric times, human chipped stone to make sharp tools, and those tools are used for what? Hunting, digging roots, and tubers, and they also use for what? They make basket from bamboo, they sew clothes from the animal hides or animal skin. Thus, the natural resource they use in those days were stones, bamboo, animal hides, etc. So, what are the natural resources used by human being in the prehistoric time? Those were stone, bamboo, animal hides. So, what we learn in this paragraph? We learn in this paragraph is that human beings are the important part of this natural world, Like other organism, human being also what? Enjoy the gift of nature. Those are like air, water, fruits, flower and other animals. Next, but the human beings are different from other organisms because they continuously change the nature according to their sweet and needs. Next, they use of a natural material to make tools, and those materials are used for producing things they want. That's why it says that the natural material used by are called what? Resources. For example, they make the stone into pieces and they use as a tool for hunting, digging roots and tubers. They also use what? Bamboo for making basket and animal hides for what? Making clothes. Thus, natural resources they use in those days were what? Like a stone, bamboo, animal hides. Next paragraph. Humans expand the range of their productive activities over the years. They began to rear animals and farm the land, while earlier they altered non-living things like stone. They now began to alter and use living beings like plants and animals. They used their tools to clear the forest and level the land. They selected seeds and sowed them in the land. The plants grew, flowered, and bore fruit, which were food grain. Humans harvested the crop and built houses to store the grain. Their houses grew into settlements. In this paragraph, it explains that humans expand the range of their productive activities over the years. That means, as the year passed, human expand or increase the range of their productive activities. That means the production activities of human being increase throughout the year. They began to rear animals and farm the land. Slowly, they began to rear animals. That means they began to cultivate animals and they start farming or do the agriculture activities. While earlier they alter non-living things like stone, they now began to alter and use living beings like plants and animals. That means earlier they used or they changed the non-living things. Example like a stone. But now what happened? Now they're changing the living beings. Example like plants and animals. Those are changed by human being. It's also said that they use their tools to clear the forest and level the land. That means from the natural, okay, from the nature they make the tools, and from the tools, what did they do? They clear the forest and level the land. The tools which was made by the natural resources were used for what? Clearing the forest and leveling the land. They selected seeds and sowed them in their land. Thereafter, they selected seeds and they sowed them in their land. Next, the plant grew, flowered, and bore fruit. That means, after sowing the seed in the land, the plant grew. Thereafter, it flowered. Thereafter, it bore fruit, which were food grain, and those were called what? Food grain. Next, human harvested the crop and built houses. After human reap or we can say harvested the crop and they build the houses for what? For storing the grain and the foods. Next, their houses grew into settlements, and those houses what happened? Grew into settlements. So in this paragraph it is says that a human being expand their productive activities throughout the years. Next, they began to rear animals and they start cultivating agricultural land. Earlier they used non-living things, but later they use living things like plants and animals. Next, they use tools to clear forest and the land. That means, as we learned earlier the previous paragraph, that human being use natural resources for making tools, and through that tools they clear the forest and they level the land. After clearing forest and leveling the land, they selected seed. Thereafter they sowed it. After sowing, what happened? The plants grew, it flowered, thereafter the plants bore fruit, and those were called what? Food grain. Thereafter human being they harvested the crop and they built the houses to store this food grain. their houses grew into settlements. That means there were one, two house. So as the number of houses increased, so that was grew into a settlement or into a village. Next paragraph. In this way, the range of natural resources that human used kept expanding and their ability to harness this resource kept improving. Historians call this age when humans began to domesticate animals and cultivate crops the Neolithic Revolution. It began about 1000 years back. Humans acquired new skills and techniques and began producing many new things on a bigger scale. These included utensils made by baking clay, clothes made by spinning and weaving fibers, and numerous articles made from metals like copper, brass, and iron. So, what does this paragraph says? In this way, the range of natural resources that human used kept expanding and their ability to harness this resource kept improving. As the human being learned for producing more crops and the producing activity increase, so human beings start expanding or kept expanding their ability and they use the natural resource usually. Historians call this as when human beings began to domesticate animals and cultivate crop Neolithic Revolution. So what did the historian says? That means when human beings start domesticate animals and start cultivation, this period they call what? Neolithic Revolution. Listen carefully. According to historian, when human beings start domesticate animals and cultivate crops, those period or that period was called as Neolithic Revolution. It began 1000 years back, and this one began almost 10,000 years back. Human acquired new skills and techniques and began producing many new things on a bigger scale. That means slowly what happened? Human acquired new skills and new techniques and they began producing many new things on a bigger scale or in a large number. So these include those are the things what like utensils were made by baking the clay. Next, cloths were made by spinning and weaving fibers, and numerous articles were made by from what? Metals like a copper, brass, and iron. So in this paragraph we will learn that as the human beings' productive activities increase, they kept expanding their ability to use the natural resource vastly. According to historian, they said that when human beings began to domesticate animals and start cultivating, this period is called as Neolithic Revolution and it was begun almost 10,000 years back. Thereafter, humans acquired new skills and techniques and they began producing many new things in a bigger scale. Example, they make utensils by baking the clay. They made clothes by spinning and weaving fibers. They made numerous articles made from metals such as copper, brass, and iron. Who owns natural resources? As the importance of natural resources in human life grew, questions arose about who should control them, how should they be used, and who should benefit from their use. Different communities answered this question in different ways. In some society, the people enjoyed collective rights to natural resources and farm community laws and rules to utilize them judiciously. They considered land, forest, and water resources as common property. These societies saw natural resources as divine, not as something they could exploit for their personal use. For them, the land, trees, rivers, oceans, animals, and mountains were god and goddesses who provided them their livelihoods. In these societies, everyone had access to natural resources, but no one had the right to exploit them irrationally or irresponsibly. So, this paragraph says As the importance of natural resources in human life grew, questions arose about who should control them. That means the importance of natural resources increased in the human life. Then people start questioning themselves that who should control them. When the importance of natural resources increase in human life, then people start questioning that okay, who should control them. Next, how should they be used and who should benefit from their use? Again, they ask question that how should the natural resource be used and how should they benefit from their use? Different communities answer this question in different ways. About this question, different communities they answered in different way. What are the question? That who should control them? How should it be used? And who should benefit from their use? So, to this question, different communities answered in different way. In some society, the people enjoyed collective rights to natural resources and frame community laws and rules to utilize them judiciously. In some society, what happened? People enjoyed collectively these rights. That means in some society, people enjoyed the natural resources collectively, and they frame communities laws. That means they made laws and rules to utilize them properly or ethically. They consider land, forest, and water resources are common property. In those days, some community they thought that they use collectively, and they framed or they made communities laws to use this one properly, and they consider that land, forest, and water source are common property, not private. This society saw natural resources as divine. According to this society, these natural resources as divine. They thought that these natural resources are divine, not as something they could exploit for their personal use, but they never thought that it was something that they could exploit for their personal use. According to this community, these resources are divine. It is not something that they could exploit for their personal use. For them, land, trees, oceans, rivers, animals, and mountains were god and goddesses. According to this community, or for this community, land, trees, rivers, oceans, and animals, all these things were gods and goddesses who provided them their livelihoods. They thought that all these things were gods and goddesses for them, those who provided them their livelihood. In this society, everyone had access to natural resources, but no one had the right to exploit them irrationally or irresponsibly. In this society, what happened? Everyone had the right to use natural resources, but no one had the right to exploit them irresponsibly or irrationally. Natural resources and their use. You see that these are the natural resources and their use. Water. Water is used for what? Energy and drinking. Next, oil. Oil also used for what? Energy and fuel. Next, forest. Forest is used for what? All these things. What? For wood, food, for medicine, pulp, recreation, home or wildlife, rubber, cotton. Next, rocks. Rocks are used for construction and shelter. Next, minerals. These are used for what? Jewelry, glass, cans, ceramics, etc. Next, soil. Soil is used for what? Agricultural purpose. Next, animals. Animals are used for what? Food, wool, recreation, etc. So these are the natural resources and their uses. It is not only this, only they are used only for this purpose. This natural resources also used for several other purposes. Next paragraph. In some society, the community did not control natural resources. When you talk about some society, community did not control natural resources. From the above paragraph, we talk that the natural resources used by the community and they made the rules to utilize them. But here there are some society, community did not control the natural resource. Control lay in the hands of few people. What happened? The control led in the hands of few people. A small class or landowners own the land and reap the benefits by making the common people farm their land. That means a small class or a landowners. He owned the land and reap the benefits. That means he enjoy the benefits and make the common people to work in their farm. Listen carefully. In some communities, community did not control the natural resources. Rather, control lays in the hands of few people. The small class or the landowners, they own the land. They enjoy the benefit and they made the common people to work in their land. Next, in some society, king manage the land. In some society, king manage the land and irrigation resource and also protect the territory. In some other society, what happened? King manage the land and irrigation resource and they also protect their territory. And in turn took a large share of the agricultural produce as a taxes. We know that during this monarchy period and during the king's period, the kings used to collect tax from these farmers and people. So what happened? In some society, king manage the land and irrigation resource and they protect the territory. In turn, what happened? They take a large share of benefit and they ask people to pay the agricultural taxes. Human productivity grew in the society as people exploit resources in complex way. What happened? Slowly the human productivity grew in the society. Thereafter, what happened? People exploit the resource in complex way. People exploit the resource in complex way. Towns and cities with the large buildings developed as the trade grew and art culture flourished. Slowly, what happened? Towns and cities grew with the cities with the large building developed. Thereafter, trade grew and art culture flourished. Slowly, town, cities, and buildings developed, and because of that, trade also grew. Then also what happened? Art, culture, everything were flourished and grew. The growth and spread of population over this year led to the foundation of the first empire. As the growth of population increased, so this led to the foundation of the first empire. However, this society experienced widening internal disparities and resulted in social inequalities. As the population increased and the first empire was established, in this society what happened? There was a disparity as differentiation came within the people. Because of that, there was what? Developed up like a social inequality, classes, class, caste, differentiation, slavery, subjugation of women, all these things took place as the population increased and the society was widening or become society was grew. Because of that, there was so much of disparity within the society. What are that? Like a social inequality, class, caste differentiation, slavery, and women were control or men dominate society was established. So in this paragraph, we learn that in some society, what happened? Community did not control the natural resource, rather control lay in the hands of some few people, especially the landowners. They own land and they used to get the benefit, but they're making common people to work in their land. In some society, what happened? The natural resources were managed by the king. Even some of the land and irrigations also were what handled or controlled by the king. They protect the territory. In turn, they took large benefit and asked people to pay taxes. As the human productivity increased, the people start exploiting natural resources in complex way. Towns and cities were increased, and through that, trade, art, culture were flourished and developed. The growth and spread of population over these years led to foundation of the first empire. However, because of this growing of population, there was so much of social disparity took place in the society. Example like a social inequality, class, caste, slavery, and domination of women. Next paragraph. The next important revolution in human history was the Industrial Revolution, which began about 250 years ago. So, what is the next important revolution in the human history? That was called what? Industrial Revolution. And it was begun almost 250 years ago. In class 9 we have studied about the Industrial Revolution and when it was begin. So the next important revolution in the history of human was that Industrial Revolution, and it was begun almost 250 years ago. Factories were set up to produce goods on large scales. We know that during this industrial revolution or industrial development, many factories were set up for why? For producing goods in a large scale, or to producing goods in more or in a large quantity. These factories required vast quantity of raw materials and fuel, which led to a sharp rise in the demand for natural resources. That means the factory or industry which were established, they need what? A large quantity of what? Raw materials and fuels. So when the demand, when the number of factories and industry increase, the demand of natural resources like raw materials and fuel increase. That's why it led to sharp rise in demand for the natural resource. Listen carefully. When the number of industry and factory increase, they demand what? Or they need a large quantity of material or raw material and fuel. That's why it led to demand of natural resources. The nations that were industrializing in the 19th century began to look for a new raw material resource to keep their factories running. That means the nations that were industrialized in the 19th century, they began to look for the new raw material source for what? To keep their factory running. That means to keep their factory running or to running the factory, the country which established industry in 19th century, they began to look for the new raw material resources. They sent their scientists and geologists on exploratory expedition to all the corners of the globe to identify countries rich in natural resources. So what happened? They sent whom? This industrial development country, they sent the scientists and geologists to different part of the world to identify the country which were having rich in natural resources. In class 9 first chapter, okay, we have studied that many of the kings of the European country, they sent the what? Navigator and the cartographer to different part of the world to identify the natural resources. So seems like okay, here also it is says that the ruler of the country are different, the industrialist, they send scientists and geologists to different part of the world to find out the country which were rich in natural resources. So in this paragraph we learn that the next important revolution in the history of human was industrial development or industrial revolution, which began about 250 years ago. So new factories were established and they produced a large scale of goods. For producing large scales of goods, the factories and industry they needed a vast quantity of raw materials and fuels. For that, the demand of natural resources increased. The nations that were developed industrialization in 19th century, they began to look for a new raw material resource to keep their factory and industry running. That's why they sent the scientists and geologists to different part of the world to find out the country which were rich in natural resources. Next paragraph. These nations believed that the world's natural wealth was a resource that it had to be used to the full. That means the nations, which nations? The industrialist nations, they believed that the world's natural wealth was a resource that had to be used full. That means the industrialist nations, they believe that all the world's natural wealth, it has to be used fully or completely. The resources were to be exploited to increase production in their factories and thus improve the living standard of their people. So what they thought? That means resources were to be exploited to increase production of their factories. They thought that all the natural resources were to be exploited for what? To increase the production in their factories. And through that, what happened? The living standard of the people will be increasing. They thought that means this industrialist nation, they thought that the natural resource or the world's natural resource has to be used fully, and the resource were to be exploited for increasing the production, and that will be help to develop the standard livings of their people. They also believe that scarcity of raw material could be managed by developing new technology and production techniques. According to them, or they believe that scarcity of the raw materials, that means if there will be no raw materials or there will be lack of raw material, it could be managed how? By developing new technology and production techniques. They thought that if there will be a scarcity of the raw material, they could manage how? By developing new technology and by producing new techniques. They began to colonize countries across Asia, America, and Africa, and to exploit the natural wealth of these colonies. That's why the European country they colonized the countries like Asia, America, and Africa. For what? For exploiting the natural wealth of these colonies. So in this paragraph we learn that this industrialist nations country they believe that this world's natural wealth has to be used fully, and because of that one they use the natural resource and they exploit the natural resource for increasing the production in factories. And they thought that if the production in the factory increase, the standard living of people will be increased. Next, they believe that if there will be a scarcity of the natural resources, they could manage by developing new technology and by producing new techniques. Because of that reason, they colonized different countries like Asia, America, and Africa, and they exploit the natural resources of these colonies. Next paragraph. However, many of these colonies had tribal or agrarian societies that did not use the land and forest for industry or trade. That means in this colony, where like colonies like Asia, America, Africa, there were many tribal and agrarian societies were living over there, and they did not use the land and forest for the industry and trade. Listen carefully. In these colonies, like that, colonies in the sense like in Asia, American, African colonies, there were many tribals and agrarian people or forest dwelling people were living. They did not use their land for what? The land and forest for industry and trade. Unlike the industrial nations, they did not exploit nature for consumption. That means, like industrial nations, these tribal people they did not exploit the nature for the consumption or for their personal benefit. They believed nature was divine, a class of according to them, they believed that nature was divine. Nature was divine. A class of belief system was thus inevitable because that one society saw as a resource was not a resource for the other. The why this class of belief system was there? Because some of the society they believed that a resource was not a resource for the others. Sometimes we think that some of the natural resource it is belongs to us. That's why we misuse the natural resource. We never think that this resource is for others also. Thus, the industrialist wanted to clear the forest to grow commercial crops, divert the forest and agricultural land for mining. Because of this reason, which reason? Because the class of the belief of this industrialist was that a resource was not for resource for others. That's why they wanted to clear forest and they wanted to grow the commercial crops, and they diverted the forest and agricultural land into mining, and construct dams across rivers to generate electricity. They also what? Construct dams across the river to generate electricity. On the other hand, the tribal people wanted to continue using the natural resource in traditional way. In other hand, what happened? The tribal people, they wanted to continue using this natural resource in traditional way. This class of culture continues to these days. This system this class of culture is continue now a day also. So in this paragraph we learn that as we know, this European country, because of using this natural resource and to exploit the natural resource, they colonize Asia, America and African countries. So in these countries there was many tribal and agrarian people, society people were living. So they didn't use forest and land for the industry and trade. Next, like other industrial nation, these people did not use or exploit the nature for the consumption, because these tribal and agrarian people, they believe that nature was divine. But what happened? Other this uh, industrialist nation or industrial nation, they believe that the resource was not a resource for others. That's why the industrialists, they wanted to clear the forest and grow the commercial crops. Even they diverted the forest and agriculture land into mining. They also constructed dams across the rivers to generate electricity. But what happened? In other hand, the tribal people wanted to using the natural resource in traditional ways. So this class of culture continues to these days. So this types of system now also it is continued. The forest dwelling people or the tribal people, they are using the natural resource properly and they wanted to use it is continuously. But in other way, the industrialists, they wanted to clear the forest, they wanted to establish mines, they wanted what establish or like a generate electricity, etc. All these things are taking place nowadays also. Next paragraph. Industrial economists and scientists till 1950s believed that natural resources are inaccessible and could be exploited limitlessly to increase society's productivity. The, distribu- the distributed across, sorry, the only problem was that natural wealth was unevenly distributed across the globe, with some places being richly endowed and other having few resources. Trade was seen as a solution to correct this imbalance and make natural resources available to all nations. So what does this paragraph says? Industrial economists and scientists till 1950s believed that natural resources are inaccessible and could be exploited limitlessly to increase society's productivity. The industrialist, economists and scientists till 1950, they believe that natural resources are that it is what inaccessible. That means it will not complete, it will never finish. That's why they exploit limitlessly to increase society's productivity. Listen carefully. Till 1950, industrial economists and scientists, they believe that natural resource will never complete. That's why they exploit the natural resource limitlessly for the society's productivity. The only problem was that natural wealth was unevenly distributed across the globe, with some places being richly endowed, other having few resources. So they thought that only the problem was that this natural wealth or natural resource was unevenly distributed. That means in some places it is having too much, but some places it having less in quantity. Trade was seen as a solution to correct this imbalance and make natural resources available to all nations. So according to these people, they think that trade was the solution of this problem. That means they can take the natural resource from one place to other where the natural resource is lacking. So in this way, they can make balance or make available in all the nations. So in this paragraph we learn that till 1950 the industrial economists and scientists, they thought that natural resource will never be completely finished. That's why they exploit the natural resource limitlessly to increase society's productivity. The problem only the according to them, the problem was that the natural resource was distributed unevenly, that means unequally throughout the globe. That means some place having more natural resources and other place having less natural resources. And they said that okay, this problem can solve by the business and trade. That means through the business and trade they can export, do the export and import of the good from one country to other country, and there will be available resources to all the nations and country. Next, scientific perspective of the environment. For the past 70 years, environmental scientists have been raising questions about the degradation of the environment for a scientific perspective. So if we talk about past 70 years, many of the environmental scientists, they have been raising questions about the degradation or the depletion of the environment through a scientific perspective. For example, in the decade of 1950s, many people noticed that they seldom hear the chirping of birds or the buzzing bees and insects in many parts of America. That means during this 1950, many noticed that what they noticed, they heard the chirping birds and the buzzing of bees, insect in many parts of America. Subsequently, studies trace the drastic fall in their population to extensive and persistent use of chemical pesticide. But now the people realize that because of using what happened population, and as the population using what more chemical pesticide, the number of chirping birds and the buzzing bees and insect are day by day decreasing. Listen carefully. For past 70 years, many environmental scientists, they have been raising questions about the depletion and degradation of the environment through a scientific perspective. For example, in the year of 1950, many people notice and hear that the chirping birds and the buzzing of honeybee and insect throughout the America. But now it is said that the population or the number of these insect birds are day by day decreasing. Why? Because of using of this chemical pesticide. Rachel Carson 1962 book Silent Spring starkly highlighted the distressing effect of indiscriminate pesticide use on the environments, with humans too falling a prey to their impact. There is an environmentalist named is Rachel Carson. In her book, which was published in the year of 1962, the name of the book was Silent Spring. So it is highlighted the distressing effect of indiscriminate pesticide and use on the environment. So in this book, which book? The Silent Spring, she highlighted that as human beings are using pesticide on the environment, so it is affecting with the humans to falling prey to their impact. That means Rachel Carson, she has written a book in the year of 1962. Name of the book was Silent Spring. So in that she has highlighted that the distressing effect of pesticide on the environment and on the human. That means how by using the pesticide, human being and environment become the prey, that she has highlighted. Her research shows how human activities damage the environment and affect human lives as well. So according to her research, it is says that how human activities damage the environment. In her research, she has focused and it showed that how the human activities damage the environment and affect human lives as well, or the lives of human also got affected through this pesticide. For example, the DDT used to eradicate mosquito finds its way into fish and in the lakes of rivers. As you know that we use DDT to eradicate water to kill the mosquito. So it's also find its way to fish in the lakes and rivers, because when we spray DDT, it through the water it flow to the lakes and rivers, and it cause damage to the fish and other creatures in the rivers and lakes. Even small amount of this toxic chemical can contaminate and kill the fish. That means if the small amount of this DDT flow towards the rivers and mix with the rivers or the lakes water, that means it can what kill a number of fishes. When humans and birds consume this contaminated fish, the the trace chemical residues are still enough to cause them harm. That means, as we know that we are using DDT and other pesticide in the paddy field, what killing the pest and insect, and sometimes we are using this chemical, the pesticide or insecticide in the water, and we are spreading or mixing, and those waters are flowing to the lakes and rivers, and when they mix in the water of the lakes and rivers, the fish and other creatures which are living inside the water, they die. Or sometimes what happen, the fish, okay, which we are eating from the rivers and lakes, so through the fish also we also affect by this what chemical which is mixed or what spread over the fields or to kill the insect. Next, following the publication of Silent Spring, scientists around the world began conducting research on how industrial progress is affecting the environment. That means, through the publishing of Silent Spring, many of the scientists throughout the world they start or they do research about how the industrial progress is affecting the environment. So in this paragraph we will learn that Rachel Carson, she had published a book called Silent Spring in the year of 1962. In that book she had highlighted that the effect of insecticide and pesticide on the environment and on the human being too. Next, on her research, she had showed that how the human activities damaging the environment and human being lives. And she also said that as okay, for example, she had given that as we are using DDT and other insecticide and pesticide to kill the mosquito, insect and pest, those things are mixed or flow towards the lakes and rivers. When they mix in the lakes and rivers water, the fish and other creatures those who are living inside the water, they died. And so as we know that we are human being, we consume fishes. So when we catch the fish from river or when we take the fish from the river or lakes, and when we have it, okay, through the fish, we also were affected by this chemical. So not only through the fish, even sometimes what happen through the, as you know, sometimes we are spreading the chemical. So when we are spreading the spray, do the spray of this chemical, it also mix with the air. So when the human beings and birds this consume this contaminant or this unhealthy air and fish, it affect to our health and we suffer by many kinds of diseases. So following this publication of Silent Spring, many of the scientists they conduct research on how industrial progress is affecting the environment. Next paragraph. Environmental scientist says that our natural wealth is a vast and complex web in which damage to a small segment can impact the whole system. So according to environmental scientists, they said that our natural wealth is a vast and complex web. Natural wealth is a vast and complex web. It says that in which damage to a small segment can impact the whole system. The environmental scientists they said that our natural wealth is a vast complex web in which if you are damaging to a small segment, then it can impact to the whole system. Every part of our nature, whether non-living like a water, air, rock or soil, or living being like an insect, birds, animals or crops, is interconnected. If you talk about the all the part of nature, either living or non-living, so that means all are interconnected. All are interconnected. An activity in one part can affect other. That means an activity in one part can affect others. If we use pesticide to control insect, they not only kill the insect but also enter our body by food grain we eat or the bodies of domestic animals by the way they consume. That means we are using insecticide and pesticide to kill an insect or pest. So they not only kill the insect and pest, but also what, they enter into our body. How? Through the food. Because we know that when we put insecticide or pesticide on the field, on the food grain, so that also what goes inside the food grain. So when we eat the food grain, that affect us. Or sometimes what happen, when you are putting insecticide or spraying this pesticide, those plants and those trees are eaten by the animals, domestic animals, and those domestic animals what consumed and eaten by us. So in this way what happen, this chemical comes to our body. These toxic chemicals accumulate in our bodies to cause long-term disease such as cancer. So what happen? This toxic chemical, it what happen, accumulate or gather or store in our body, and slowly what happen, it causes what, long-term disease such as cancer. So in this paragraph we'll learn that many of the environmental scientists, they have said that our natural wealth is what, a vast and complex web, that means in which damage to a small segment, that means if a small thing also what damage, then it will be impact to a whole system. Next, every part of nature, either it is living and non-living, we all are interconnected. Next, an activity in one part can affect other, that an activity in one part can affect other. Example, if you are using pesticide and insecticide to kill the insect and pest, so through the food grain it affect us, because we take the fruit, so it is mixed with the insecticide and pesticide. In same time we also have, we consume and eat the domestic animals, they eat the grass, tree, plant, etc., which are sprayed and mixed with this insecticide and pesticide. So when we eat those domestic animals, through them the chemical comes to our body, and slowly it is accumulate or it got stored in our body, and it cause long time disease such as cancer. Next paragraph. If we release toxic industrial influence into rivers and stream, then fish and other living organisms in the water, animals drinking the water, and humans who eat the fish are affected. So in this paragraph, what it says that if we release the toxic industrial influent into rivers and stream, we know that all this industrial, this toxic or this what influence water are discharged into the rivers and stream. Then the fish and other organisms in the water, animals drink the water. We know that in the rivers, oceans, seas and lakes, the fishes and other living organisms are living over there. They drink the water. And human beings who eat the fish are affected. At last, okay, when you catch fish and when we eat, okay, we are affected. Listen carefully. So we are indirectly affected. How? Industry and the factories, they discharge the what happen, unhealthy and untreated water into the rivers, oceans and lakes. So when it is mixed with the rivers, oceans and lakes water, the fish and other living organism living in the water, they drink it, and when we eat the fish, it affect us. In the same way, air pollution, deforestation and mining activities affect the environment. In same way, how? To the air pollution, to the deforestation, that means what, cutting of forest, and mining activities also affecting the environment. All this happen because all living and non-living elements on earth are intertwined. So all this how it happened? Because in the earth or an environment, all the living and non-living things are what, interconnected. That's why all these things happen. So in this paragraph we will learn that industry and factory, they release the unhealthy and untreated water into oceans and seas and to rivers. So when this water or unhealthy or toxic water mixed with the rivers and lakes water, the fishes and other living creatures living in drink it. When we eat the fishes, it affect human body. In same time, because of the air pollution, deforestation and mining activities also, it affect the environment. So all these things happen because both living and non-living things are interconnected. Next is waste. They are the unutilized and discarded components of the production and consumption process. What is waste? We know that they are unutilized and discarded components. That means they are useless, because after the production process these things are come out. Example, including the bagasse that is thrown away after extracting juice from sugarcane. We know that when we are extracting juice from sugarcane and that waste is thrown out. The wrapper we throw after eating a packet of biscuits. Then we also, what happen next, after eating the biscuit we throw the wrapper or cover. The unusable proportion of the raw material used in factories. That means there are so much of the unusable, that means which is not used from the raw material. There are many things which is not used in the factories, that also what throw out. Or the chemical laden water and smoke released after the production, or after the production the chemical mixed water is discharged to where? To water. So these are the waste. Listen carefully, what is waste? That means after the production the unutilized things are called what? Waste. For example, or for the sake of example, we can say that after extracting juice from sugarcane we throw the what? Bagasse. Or after eating the biscuit we throw the wrappers or cover. Next, after production the company also want to throw some other part of the raw materials. Next, company discharge the chemical mixed water into the water and smoke into the environment. So many waste material can find other uses, but there are some waste material also used for other uses. For example, we can burn bagasse as fuel or use in manufacturing paper. That means after extracting juice from sugarcane, the bagasse can be what? Used as a fuel. It can be what? Used as a fuel, or it can be used for what? Manufacturing paper. We can also remove harmful chemical from the contaminated water and smoke with special equipment and reuse the water. That means the water on the air which is released from the industry and factory, so it can be what? Reused. How? By treating them we can use the water. So in this paragraph we learn about the waste. What are the waste? That means unutilized part after the production. For example, after remove or extracting juice from sugarcane we throw the what? Bagasse. Or we can say after eating the biscuit we throw the wrapper or cover. Or the industry and factory, after they release the chemical laden water and smoke to the environment. So these are the waste. But some of the waste can be reused for other purpose. How? After extracting juice from sugarcane, the bagasse can be used for making fuel or burning, or it can be used for what? Manufacturing paper. Next, we also can remove the harmful chemicals from the water and smoke, and that water can be used from other purpose, or it can be reused. Next paragraph, large scale industrial production has badly affected the complex environmental web. Large scale industrial production, it is badly affect the complex environmental web. The earth's natural resources are not inaccessible. That means the natural resources which are available on earth, it is what? It will finish. Using them indiscriminately will deplete them permanently. But if you are misusing them, then it will be completely finished from the earth. Our natural resources will be lost for good at our current rate of utilizing this assets. Many rivers are turning into open drains. We know that because of our misuse, many of the rivers are turning into open drains. Land and water are born into pollution. That means land and water is what? Polluted. Next, the impact in coming years will be grievous. That means in future the human being and the environment is going to what? Suffer. In this chapter we shall reflect on this problem by trying to understand the nature of our resource. So in this chapter we are going to reflect these problems and understand the nature of our resources. So in this paragraph what you learn, that means large scales of industrial production badly affecting our environment. Next, the earth natural resources are not accessible. That means the natural resources which are available on the earth, it is what? It will not finish. But if you are misusing them, then it will be finished completely or permanently. Next, our natural resources will be lost for our good at our current rate of utilizing this asset. That means if you are not using properly, then at present or the current only it will finish. So many of the rivers now they turn into the open drains. Many of the land and water are polluted. So the impact is coming year will be grievous. So because of this pollution, the impact will be what? Unbearable, or we have to suffer grievously in future. That's why in this chapter we will be reflect on these problems and will try to understand the nature of our resources.